Is in the know for Monday, May 11th, the 132nd day of 2020. There are 234 days left of the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station 103.9 The Moose, live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud or iTunes podcast, on Facebook Watch, on YouTube Live, on Periscope. And the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We will look back on a Mother's Day weekend. We will look forward to another big weekend coming up for the class of 2020. And we'll play a round of You Pick Trivia. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
T-shirt travels taking you to Beale Street, Memphis, Tennessee today.
Yeah.
I think I remember when you acquired that shirt back during the NCAA tournament. What should have been the national championship game. I remember it well. Yeah. How was your Mother's Day? Did you get anything?
It was great.
Yeah.
So I received a really cool calendar that Anna made me.
Yes.
So it has, it's from Shutterfly. So it has all the photos for each month. It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
I had breakfast on Mother's Day morning.
Oh, yeah. You did have breakfast on Mother's Day morning. Yeah.
I received a really cool card.
Yeah.
And some flowers.
Uh-huh.
And new pillows for the back patio.
New outdoor pillows for outdoor space. Time to move from the indoor to the outdoor. Well, we hope you had a great day.
I did.
For Mother's Day, as did hope all moms did. She's the pride of Pumpkin Center, the heiress to the great mini burger fortune. She's Vera Wang's arch nemesis and the professional bargain hunter's woman of the year. She's Misty Embry Thomas. Hey. How's Misty?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Are you healthy at work?
I'm healthy at work. Yes.
Today's the new day of healthy at work for many people. We'll talk about it.
We're not wearing masks, but we are healthy at work.
You're not.
I'm digging those pants.
Well, thanks.
My mask. Yeah. You are. You do. I don't know if people can see. You've got the mustard yellow pants on today.
I love them.
And so
yeah, hold your leg up, sister.
They're bright.
Because when you're finished, I'm going to need that.
She puts her name on my clothes.
Hand them down.
That's mine.
How did Miss Thomas? How did you spend your Mother's Day? Was it enjoyable?
Yes, I came out here and ran the church program for Potter's Hope, and Sam was here, so I got to see Sam on Mother's Day.
That's good. All right.
Christy and I get to be his mom away from mom.
All right.
Yeah, sure. We do.
Yeah.
It went well. My husband cooked lunch for me, and then he had to leave for a work trip, and one of my daughters had to work, so I got to see the other daughter and the son quickly. But Mallory does. I tell you what, Mallory speaks my love language. She is great at words. I don't want you to buy me anything. I want your words. I want you to talk to me. I want communication, and she does that really well. She sent me a text yesterday morning. She left Bowling Green to come see me, and my other love language is food. She said, "Is there anything you want in Bowling Green I could bring you to eat?" And I'm like, all the things. And if you need to break into the Chick-fil-A, break into the Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I saw some long lines yesterday of people who were waiting to pick some special food up for mom. So
I did get multiple texts from listeners asking if I got the roller skates.
Yeah?
I did not get the roller skates.
Okay.
Nobody even mentioned them.
Notice I didn't bring it up. I didn't want to potentially pour salt in a wound, so I didn't ask about it.
It is a little salty today already, so Maybe
got
my husband had a business trip. Maybe he didn't live to tell about it.
Maybe we'll find out. Today, starting off some sunshine and a cool breeze. Clouds will start to fill in this afternoon, which will slow down any modest heating. Generally, we'll be in the mid to upper 50s today. We'll see a partly cloudy sky this evening. Some sprinkles tomorrow. Highs will warm into the upper 50s, lower 60s. It will be warmer and more humid later on in the week. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to feel like late May heading into this weekend, so just be prepared, which then anytime it gets humid and the temperature swings, chance for thunder showers, so be prepared for that late this week. We'll tell you why that's important later on in the program today. Clouds increase later today. 59 is the high, 41 the overnight low under increasing clouds, mostly cloudy, and 62 tomorrow. Governor Andy Beshear gave a briefing on Saturday, took Mother's Day off yesterday, but the latest update he gave on Saturday was 158 newly confirmed cases of coronavirus in Kentucky. That brings the state's total to 6,440. He also reported 6 new deaths on Saturday, bringing the total to 304. Over 86,900 tests have been administered in Kentucky. 2,308 people have recovered from the virus. But the biggest event of the weekend, a lot of churches managed to find a way to meet in person yesterday after a ruling on Friday from Judge Greg Van Tatenhove that's saying that Governor Beshear's intentions or his motive was honest, but he said that the governor didn't provide a compelling reason for using his authority to limit a citizen's right to freely exercise something we value greatly, the right of every American to follow their conscience on matters related to religion. So a lot of churches yesterday, including yours, you were talking about, managed to have outdoor in-person service. Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of outdoor services yesterday of people. There were more than there'd been in the previous weeks. I saw people gathering as I was out doing projects yesterday. So now, even though the governor had said Memorial Day weekend, you would have the green light to go about in-person services with restrictions and with some, for a lot of smaller congregations, they're going to seemingly be almost impossible to adhere to. So you're going to have to make some choices. You're going to have to get into they're more like guidelines rather than rules. What they write these for large churches, Southland, Southeast, big churches in bigger cities. And so it makes it very tough for small congregations to figure out and go, when you're talking about even a couple of hundred people, things can be done differently than when you have hundreds and hundreds of people for a service. But the Tabernacle Baptist Church, which was on the leading edge of this lawsuit, they said it in this story that I'm reading, that they had broadcast services on Facebook and held drive-in services, but the substitutes offered cold comfort, according to the opinion, according to their opinion. Now, I did also think that I read through the restrictions of churches being prepared to go back, meet in person in late May, and one of the restrictions was on congregational singing, to which I laughed and thought, okay, so we'll just sit and hum.
Sign. We're all going to do sign language.
I thought just hide and watch, Governor Beshear. If you think you're going to talk people in church into not singing,
yeah. Wait till I pull out my tambourine.
He said. So they backed them off, and
right.
Well, you got to admit the Beshear administration over the last couple of weeks, when they get pressed on something within a couple of days, they do try to find some workable solution with people, either because of pressure or because they think it's a good idea. But the thing that he did say when loosening restrictions on congregational singing was, be careful, make sure that you do it right. Don't come back just to come back. And to that, I agree. If you're not capable of protecting the members of your flock, then don't just do it out of a position of defiance.
Yeah, don't get all willy-nilly.
Let's do it safely and properly
right? Somebody died of the willy-nillys.
As we move forward. So it's an interesting time, with being healthy at work today. We'll talk a little bit more about it. Judge Henderson honored the county's latest fatal COVID-19 victim on Friday and celebrated 5 nursing home residents out of quarantine. Judge Henderson only reported 1 new confirmed case of the virus on Friday, The newest victim was an 82-year-old resident of Grayson Nursing and Rehab. There have now been 93 cases as of Friday diagnosed in Grayson County. He paid tribute to Oma Hayes and talked about her life and her family and paid tribute to her in the briefing you heard and saw with us on Friday. The sign she was holding that's in the story at K105.com warmed my heart. Mm-hmm. She said, "I cannot wait to beat you in Yahtzee, Brad," talking about one of her sons, and showed some of her spirit. "I miss you and I love you." So sad to talk about her passing, but honored to be able to give tribute. But some of the news that was offered from the judge on Friday was the recovery of 5 women at Grayson Nursing and Rehab who had really, had some challenging times recently. We know how bad that facility has been impacted, but Anna Critchlow, June Bradshaw, Miriam McGrew, Ina Smith, and Patricia Ward were all celebrated as residents of Grayson Nursing and Rehab who had earlier tested positive but now have been released from quarantine after testing negative, and it was very enjoyable to see some of the photography that was shared from GNR about the things that have been happening and celebrating the good news. We've had a lot of bad news over the last 2 months, but celebrating the good news, very, very important. I should mention, I'll remind you later in the show, but you'll get another county briefing at 3:30 today, Monday and Friday of this week, and what the plans are as of now. And of course, we'll adapt to changing conditions. A Clarkson man accused of assaulting his mother-in-law and wife in Edmonson County has been captured by the Grayson County Sheriff's Office. Last night about 11:15, dispatch alerted law enforcement to be on the lookout for a blue Ford Ranger containing 38-year-old Emmanuel by the Edmonson County SO after he was accused yesterday of assaulting his mother-in-law and forcing his wife into his truck. He then left the area with his wife and thought to be traveling to Clarkson. The initial investigation showed that King did not abduct his wife, and he has not been charged with a crime related to an abduction. As they search for King, was found to be under the influence. The sheriff's office, along with Clarkson PD, were involved to perform field sobriety tests. He was charged with DUI, possession of a controlled substance, and lodged in Hotel 36. A Litchfield teen escaped injury after her vehicle tumbled down an embankment on the Thomason Byway Friday evening about 11. LPD and LFD and GCEMS responded to the 100 block of the Thomason Byway to report of a 2-vehicle accident. First responders found a southbound Chevy Trailblazer being driven by 18-year-old DeShaley Dennison of Litchfield. It left the roadway, traveled down an embankment, flipped at least once, and jumped a creek before coming to rest. The report says she lost control of the Chevy as she traveled in the right southbound lane. The vehicle entered the left southbound lane where the clipped a Honda Civic being driven by 18-year-old Nathan Fitress of Falls of Rough. The Chevy traveled into the turning lane before making a hard right, traveled off the roadway down an embankment. Neither faced or suffered any injuries, which is good news. I saw a story yesterday or from over the weekend from Kentucky Today about the number of counties in Kentucky that still do not have any confirmed positive COVID-19 cases.
Are they testing?
Well, they're not testing as much because
I don't think
they don't have people presenting with symptoms, but it does strike me as interesting that it's more of a regional type of. So Elliott County is one of 7 that don't have any. Elliott is Bell, Estill, Lee, Magoffin, Robertson, and Wolfe counties. And there are people that are saying, we know that it's here, it's just not been found, but they're smaller communities, and you're more likely to be isolated anyway toward Appalachia, and it's harder. There's natural social distancing built in, but even according to the Team Kentucky website, the 4 counties that border Elliott County, where they have none, so you got Carter, Rowan, which is Moorhead, Morgan and Lawrence counties have a combined 11 cases and no deaths.
So what's in the water there that's killing this thing? Like what's the kind of voodoo they have over there?
I don't know. Carter has 6. Rowan has 3, and Moorhead being the largest in Rowan County. Morgan and Lawrence having 1 each of their cases. It's just odd that there's
I wanna investigate more.
those areas that I don't know why it might be, but it is of note. Out of 120, we're down to seven counties that have none. We also learned over the weekend that Vice President Pence, a member of his staff, on the heels of a member of the president's staff, someone testing positive for COVID-19. Vice President Pence says that he is not in quarantine, but getting other reports that he's, kind of distancing himself somewhat. President Trump is the one, he publicly identified the Pence staffer as spokesman Katie Miller and said that he was not worried about the virus spreading in the White House. They're testing them daily. Yeah. And, it was only a matter of time, I suppose, until someone. I did notice that Saturday Night Live also found the same humor in Weekend Update. They used my joke. By the way, it's my joke because I was on the air with it first, that President Trump wouldn't wear a mask, but he was wearing the safety goggles. Yeah. Just at the mask factory. To be clear, he was at the mask factory and wouldn't wear a mask, but wore the safety goggles, which...
Well, Mark, if the shoe doesn't fit, you don't put it on.
That's right. The Grayson County Retired Teachers Association has announced this year's winners of the annual AARP Kentucky Grandparent of the Year essay contest. The annual contest emphasizes the nurturing relationship between grandparents and their grandchildren. The contest is open to all Kentucky fifth graders, and this year's award-winning essay was written by Wilkie Elementary School student Tiana Meredith. She will represent Grayson County at the district level. Her essay was also selected as both her classroom and school winner. Other Wilkie classroom winners were Maggie Shepard and Amelia Thurman. So good job, young ladies.
Yeah,
I like that. I saw a piece yesterday on CBS Sunday Morning about zoos struggling, except for that Tiger King Zoo. All the other zoos are struggling around the country because think of it in this way. As many businesses have suffered, layoffs have occurred, revenue streams have dried up. The zoos are one where the revenue stream has dried up, but all the animals still need the same level of care and food.
Over here.
That's right.
This
And
polar
so
bear needs to be fed.
they were just talking about how zoos around the country, the animals, they're actually enjoying it. They're not people around, and they're just,
they don't have to perform.
That's right. And but you can now
refer to Madagascar.
And so 8 weeks in now, a lot of our Zoom meetings are getting all humdrum and boring. The Louisville Zoo now, for a $75 tax-deductible donation, will allow a member and one of the zoo animals to join your Zoom meeting to help spruce it up.
Oh, now that's fun.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
I think that's awesome.
So the donation to have Fitz the elephant, apparently there are limits, or Quanic the polar bear, among others. So you could have an elephant, a polar bear, or some others for $75. You say, here, come join our staff Zoom meeting to be like, hey, we're loving this. We're having a good time. I don't know if the giraffe is on the table, but I am certain that if you go to the Louisville Zoo's website, they will have a list of all the people you can invite to your Zoom meeting. So good way to donate to the zoo as well and keep their operations going. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got plenty more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
Did you know that experts estimate that 80 to 90% of disease is stress-related? Massage can help by lowering your blood pressure, increasing circulation, reducing fatigue, and increasing energy. Call Renee Smith at 270-505-5463 to set up your appointment for a therapeutic massage today. Renee also offers gift certificates and is conveniently located on Elizabethtown Road in Litchfield. 270-505-5463.
Expert care, high technology, hometown kindness. That's Twin Lakes Regional Medical Center. Here's Dr. Gregory Koo on integrative healthcare.
Integrative is basically you mix holistic medicine with modern medicine. I was the director of this holistic integrative center, but I did acupuncture, and I did that my entire career alongside of family medicine, and the results are just unbelievable.
To schedule an appointment with Dr. Koo, call 270-879-3711. Twin Lakes Regional Medical Center. Your home, your health.
We are Kentucky Broadcasters, your hometown radio and television stations. We bring you breaking news. We keep you safe. We serve your community in good times and in bad. Your local broadcasters are always there. We are deeply rooted in your small towns and your big cities. We champion a strong sense of civic pride, no matter how we connect. Over the air, online, and on your device. We are Kentucky Broadcasters. There when it matters.
Due to the COVID-19 virus, the Sicilian Bank feels it is in the best interest of their customers and employees to temporarily reduce lobby services to appointment only. All banking transactions will be directed to drive-through only until further notice. You may also conduct business by phone by calling any of our banking centers. For a complete list of banking centers and phone numbers, visit thesicilianbank.com. Committed to you, and thank you for your patience during these uncertain times. The Sicilian Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, what can you get for $5?
For you, that's like 1 cup of coffee.
Oh, true. But it does come with a picture of my face in the phone.
A bargain in that case.
Exactly. What about an iPad or an Apple Watch?
Well, for $5, you're dreaming.
Then my dreams are coming true at Bluegrass Cellular. You can get a 6th Gen iPad and Apple Watch Series 3, each for $5 a month.
$5?
Yeah, the iPad is perfect to FaceTime friends and family and stream your favorite shows.
Yeah, iPads come with 1 free year of Apple TV Plus.
And with Apple Watch, you can stay on time, stay in shape, and stay connected.
iPad and Apple Watch, each for $5 a month. Pinch me. Ow!
Restrictions apply. Shop online at bluegrasscellular.com. Bluegrass Cellular, your community expanded. You said pinch me.
Samsung is coming out with some sort of debit card this summer. It'll be part of Samsung Pay and will be backed by a cash management account in partnership with personal finance company Sophie. Not that big a news, as Apple already has its own credit card, and reportedly Google and Huawei are working on their own cards as well. Facebook and Google will let employees continue working from home for the rest of the year. The tech giants have announced plans to reopen their offices soon, but are allowing more home working flexibility. Some employees will be able to come back to the offices starting this summer. Google's other video chat app, Duo, is getting some upgrades. Duo, which is different than Meets and Hangouts in that it is a mobile-first chat app, is adding a group chat feature so you can talk with more than one person. Google also added a family mode feature to Duo for Android and iOS that lets you doodle on calls and adds effects and masks like cats and astronauts to keep calls entertaining. Tech Report, Larry Olson.
Today is. We can't run the risk of not pointing out that it may be Nursing Week 2020.
Oh, wow.
So the reason I'm mentioning it again today is that it's always selected to coincide with the birth of Florence Nightingale. Mm-hmm. But some various sources reported that Nursing Week was last week. And so some were reported that it would have started mid last week and end mid this week. So no matter when you're celebrating it, especially if you're a nurse, I don't want to run the risk of not pointing out that it is Nurses Week 2020 underway.
Nurses are saying, give us both weeks.
Right. It
Let me
is
take the
everybody
month.
happy. Yeah.
also Hostess Cupcake Day today.
Oh.
And it is Eat What You Want Day today. I suppose you can eat your Hostess Cupcake if you want to, or you might not have needed
I do want to.
I can think of other things.
any permission. Coming up on Saturday will be the Grayson County High School Class of 2020 Senior Send-Off. It begins with a parade and ends with a private graduation procession to where they will receive their documents and be recognized, and that's not for the public at Grayson County High School, but the parade is for the public. Mm-hmm. So Saturday morning at 10 a.m., the graduating class at Grayson County High School will depart Southgate Mall. They'll go just a little bit down South Main Street and then hang a Louis on the Thomason Byway, and they'll just keep bearing off to the Louis until they get over to 62. Then they'll turn on 62 and come all the way in Mill Street. Then they get to Mill Street, they'll turn Louis, and then they'll go to the square and go halfway aroundy. And then they'll continue south, turn right on 62 again, West White Oak Street, and they'll go on out to the campus of Grayson County High School, where then they will, by car, be recognized and announced and come through and drive off into the sunset. Now, something important to point out, that in meetings that we've had with leadership of the school system, this doesn't necessarily take the place of an official graduation. There might be a graduation ceremony. It could be at Christmas. It could be whenever it might be. So this does not replace, but it is a temporary substitute, because you'll have some students who will be scattering. They might be joining the military. They might be, who knows, going on mission trips. They might be doing whatever later in the year. So they will be celebrating. Again, the parade is for the public. So line the streets and wave and shout and cheer as they travel around. They'll have some escorts around the parade route. And if you can't join in person, you'll be able to join virtually on the K105 digital productions platforms of YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope. We're going to have some special camera positions, including the Litchfield Pediatrics cam. I'm not going to tell you where it's going to be because it's going to be a surprise, but Litchfield Pediatrics sponsoring their own camera position for the parade. And it will be hosted, just like all good parades must be, like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. It will be hosted by myself. Misty has been cleared to be part of this parade because it doesn't involve any horses.
Yep.
Only horsepower.
No horses in this parade.
That's right. And then Dr. Yukon Cornelius, Dennis Cook, will be joining us on Saturday to help round out the coverage. So it's going to be a big day on Saturday.
I'm anxious to see where our location is, or are we going to be portable? Like, can we be on a golf cart driving on the other side of the road, up through the parade? Hosting live
you
coverage.
wanted to, I see what you want
I
to
wanna
do.
be
Like at the
mobile.
Kentucky Derby.
Yes.
At the end where she rides out there and rides along and sticks that's where you got
boom
the
mic.
line you
Yep.
love so much. I'm the luckiest Mexican in
Yeah.
the world.
Yes.
That's right. So you want to be able to interview all
Yeah.
of the seniors driving up through I hate to dash your hopes, but I don't think we can do that. I think we're going to be stationary.
I'm going to want you to reconsider. You've got several days to work that out.
Okay.
I know where a golf cart is we could procure.
Well, so we've been working on this for, 2 to 3 weeks and having some production meetings and things. And so we were unsure on what talent we were going to be able to use to help provide coverage of the parade. And that was what was teetering. If horses were going to be involved in any way,
I
then
was not allowed.
Misty had to sit out.
Yeah.
But now that they're not going to be, it's all going to be horsepower
Yeah.
and in the way of four wheels and cars, then you're able to be in
Yes.
the lineup for
Yes.
Saturday.
So glad.
And then we thought Dennis Cook could show up to
And for those who think I have been absolutely, what's the word I'm looking for?
I'm not
Try
sure.
to be careful, right? I am allowed to be around horses. I'm not allowed to say horse
That's right. You have
You have
right.
to be
on air. I have to really stretch that because I lose the S in there and it becomes horse. So we
Right.
have to be very careful when Misty has to talk about
Sure.
the horse.
I would direct if you don't know what we're talking about, I would direct your attention to the December 18th, 2019 podcast and or show
where there was a story about horses
in Strip Mines.
in strip mines.
Oh,
Yes.
Lordy.
So,
I just don't want anybody to think that I'm not allowed to be around animals, that I've had cruelty to
no,
animals.
no,
like
nothing-
I've been
nothing like
charged
that.
or anything.
Nobody
No,
believes that.
I
No,
just,
it's
I
your-
was, I actually was being very cruel to the whores in that story.
your color
I-
commentary
yes,
is just
yeah.
a little suspect.
Yeah, I
and
announced they
that's-
had died, not the horses.
That's why
so-
we need a legitimate member of the clergy, Dennis Cook, to come in and police the operation to make sure that
Is he just going to
everything
hold a big hook?
I think so.
She's off air.
Here's your mute button.
That or scissors so they
This
can
is-
cut the cord to my
this is what you
microphone.
get. I mean, you and I have really been. Our parade coverage has been somewhat limited since we've proven that we didn't know anything about
Yeah.
horses.
We knew black, brown, white, big, and little.
Sure,
That's our adjectives for horses.
right. Yeah, I think I could identify mangy.
It depends
Struggling.
on the time of year.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay. Oh, if I could identify mangy or that horses are mangy.
Well, no, I mean, one might look mangy, but it depends on the time of the year because they're shedding their coats. So that might make you think that they're mangy, but they're not.
All right, that's good. All right. I never considered that.
I didn't know they
makes,
shed a coat.
That makes good sense.
They do.
Well, okay.
I mean, they need a thicker coat during the winter.
Again,
And
we
they
know
shed
nothing
that.
about horses.
All right, so the two of you look to be healthy at work today. I believe that I'm going to be healthy at work. My healthy at work today looks a whole lot like my healthy at work last Friday. And my healthy at work on Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Friday,
Really?
Thursday, Wednesday.
March, April, and May.
I had, in that story I was reading about Elliott County, there was a lady in there that said, I haven't been to church in 7 Sundays, and that's 49 days. And I thought, oh, yeah, so we're up to, we're about to hit the 60-day mark on our, by the way, for those of you back to the office today, we've been healthy at work the whole time.
Yes.
Welcome back.
We've been healthy at work. Google and Facebook are permitting their staff to work remotely until 2021, if they can. Whereas other businesses around the Commonwealth are, allow people to telework if you can, if you've gotten good at it, then you can continue to do that. Don't go back to work just because they say it's okay. And then if you're wearing a mask today, then how to prevent glasses from fogging up while wearing a mask. One,
I struggle with this.
You do?
Yes.
I've seen, go ahead.
make sure your mask is tight. Attach the mask to your ponytail if your hair is long enough. You can do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Put it over the top, or how's that work?
it stretches pretty far.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Or, go ahead.
Use anti-fogging spray, or attach something to the inside of the mask like a pipe cleaner or something to adjust it to the
Make
bridge
it
of your nose.
Moldable. Right.
Those are the only tips I have. Are there any
Yeah, I'm
others?
gonna have
I've
to buy
seen
some pipe cleaner.
several. I've seen several on Facebook.
I guess I just need to tie, because ours are longer that Sarah made us, so we can just tie them really tight.
Yeah.
Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and
It's
fro?
been funny how much they've backed off of they've backed off the congregational singing, saying you can't sing in church. They backed that off pretty quick. And then I even heard Josh Embry say on Friday during the briefing, they've backed also way off the masks than from the first time. We said, you can be healthy at work on the 11th, but you got to wear a mask. And everybody went, no, I don't gotta. And so the Bashir,
may want me
excuse
to.
me, the Team Kentucky, they've said, well, we'd like for you to wear one. Okay.
Strongly
Well,
encouraged. I'm a fan of a mask in public right now.
it depends upon the public. If your name is Walt Disney, you can probably talk me into wearing one.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All
That's
right.
again, at what cost? I do that a lot. At what cost? So I would be willing to go if I had to. Okay, I would make that change. But if I'm just going in to say buy a paper,
So the mouse could convince you, but the governor can't.
I think the mouse has got a much better track record.
It's much more entertaining.
Well, but he does do other things when he goes in to buy a paper. Just saying. I hope so. At least I've
You're assuming so.
asked for that.
I was saddened to learn on Saturday of the passing of perhaps maybe the only mutual celebrity that Misty and I have ever encountered.
I know. I feel like we should do something.
We saw Little Richard in the lobby of the Hilton Nashville prior to a Titans game 16, 17
Wow.
years ago.
Been a hot minute.
It's been a long time. But it
Wow.
was, he got out of a Cadillac Escalade, right? Was on a walker then, but came through
what
and
you call
everybody
it.
stopped and went, well, Little Richard.
So
Wait,
was that
what?
so long ago that you all have no photos? Like
Yeah, no, there were no
smartphones?
smartphones. He had a BlackBerry, and we thought that was cool.
Yeah, this was
He had a
was
BlackBerry
before
when
selfies.
I met him.
This is before
Yeah,
selfies.
yeah. My phone didn't take cameras. or
So
my-
I was saddened to hear of that. He passed at age 87. I heard it may have been COVID complications, but he'd been battling bone cancer for a long time. I heard him referred to this morning as the architect of rock and roll.
That's interesting.
So Elvis was the king, but Little Richard was the architect because he took all of these different genres of music
Yeah.
and put them together.
Okay.
The number of songs even that the Beatles did that were Little Richard songs. Long Tall Sally, all those various ones. And then we also learned about Roy. Was it Roy? It wasn't Siegfried, right?
No,
It was Roy.
of Siegfried and Roy.
Never saw Roy in Vegas, but I've seen them perform, of course, in Vegas Vacation when Clark Griswold was part of the act. And then I was really saddened this morning to learn about the passing of Jerry Stiller.
Right? Yeah.
So Ben Stiller's dad. If you're a little younger, you're going to be more likely to know him as Arthur. So Doug Heffernan's father-in-law.
That's my favorite role that
and
he plays.
I know how popular I know how
Yes,
popular that show is for your household. He will forever be Frank Costanza.
Yeah.
Me too.
To me, and how many classic lines? I mean, they're classic lines from I just blanked.
Seinfeld.
No, the one with
King of
Kevin
Queens.
James. Yes, King of Queens. They're classic lines, but so many classic Jerry Stiller. So Serenity Now. Festivus, the airing of grievances. I'm back, baby. Like, that's just in the vernacular. I'm back, baby, is a Jerry Stiller, is a Frank Costanza line.
See, I didn't love him on that show like I love him as Arthur.
Well,
I love him as Arthur.
he was, obviously he's Ben Stiller's dad,
Yeah.
and Ben learned a lot from his parents, but seeing Jerry Stiller pass away, that's just...
Was it COVID related?
I
or
don't
just-
know. I think he's 92, so it's one of those things. But losing Jerry Stiller and losing Little Richard in the same, and Roy,
And Roy.
it's the trio over the
Yep,
course of
they
the
say Captain
weekend.
Threes.
But Serenity Now, the man's ear, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That was thanks to Frank Costanza. We're gonna get to a break. We're gonna play You Pick Trivia this morning, and we'll also have plenty of other stuff on the way. Got Chart Toppers, Point to Ponder, Pearl of Wisdom, and more before the hour is through here on In the Know.
Your health is important to you, so when you find yourself face to face with sickness, your main concern is simply how to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. It begins the moment you walk through our doors, where you're greeted by our friendly, knowledgeable staff, and continues on with special services like free delivery. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or to overcome that untimely sickness, remember,
your feel better starts here
at Midway Pharmacy.
At the University of Kentucky, there are no bounds to our campus, no limits to our ambitions. Here, you matter. In this unprecedented time, UK has moved Summer School 2020 online. Hundreds of course offerings, all 100% online at a discounted rate, from Kentucky's flagship university. We're prepared to adapt, grow, build, challenge, and succeed together. Find your program at summer.uky.edu.
Tax season is underway, and so are IRS scams. Hi, I'm Rihanna Smith-Hamblin with the Better Business Bureau. Scammers are pretending to be the IRS, saying you owe back taxes, and they're demanding payment over the phone with prepaid debit cards or wire transfer. If you don't comply, the scammer threatens you with fines and an arrest. Another version claims you're getting a tax refund, and scammers ask you for personal information. If you get calls like these, hang up the phone. For more tips, go to bbb.org.
Many things have changed in recent months, but the University of Louisville's commitment to educational excellence remains as strong as ever. Through more than 200 years of changes, U of L has consistently created opportunities for students to thrive. And for the last 20 years, Louisville has provided opportunities for students to learn and grow through online classes. During this time of unprecedented uncertainty, we are open and operational through remote teaching and learning, and invite you to join us. Louisville is now offering the largest variety of online courses in our history, so you can stay engaged and connected this summer. Enroll now and keep moving your education forward. Learn more at louisville.edu/summerterm and become a member of the Cardinal family. That's louisville.edu/summerterm, the University of Louisville online courses, because learning never stops.
Mitch McConnell's big rescue bill. Who really got rescued? Hundreds of billions for big corporations and wealthy investors. while Mitch McConnell has refused to give more aid to Kentucky. He said the state should just declare bankruptcy, which would destroy pensions for teachers, police, and firefighters, and lead to devastating cuts to services. Listen to Governor Beshear.
Bankruptcy would be disastrous. That judge could do anything from raise taxes on your people to making disastrous cuts to law enforcement and education and health care.
I'm Amy McGrath, and over 500,000 Kentuckians have lost their jobs. Those are the people I'll fight for, not special interests in big corporations. I'm running for Senate, and I approve this message, because what good is a powerful senator if he only uses his power for the few and tells the rest of us to declare bankruptcy? We deserve better than that.
Paid for by Amy McGrath for Senate.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather. Clouds will limit Monday's afternoon highs to the mid to upper 50s. Tonight, we'll watch clouds continuing to roll in as we fall down into the upper 30s and low 40s. There is that small chance for some patchy frost for those of you east of 65. From the Wave 3 News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Juana.
Keep a knocking, but you can't come in. Keep a knocking, but you can't come in. Keep a knocking, but you can't come in. Come back tomorrow night and try it again. You said you love me, but you can't come in. You said you love me, but
Did you know? All right, so we're talking about the passing of Little Richard.
No, that's the bit. Like I say that all the time. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. But I'd forgotten that line. Come back tomorrow night and try it again.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's
And
why I
then
was laughing
the Cheech
so
and Chong.
hard.
Because I use it for the Cheech and Chong. I hear you knocking, but
All right, so I want you to listen to this part.
Okay.
All right. Now, that is just an energetic intro by a member of Little Richard's band.
Okay.
All right. Because that song was supposed to start on the downbeat. You keep it knocking, but you can't come in.
Right.
But he did that snare.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
If we didn't have that,
Okay.
we wouldn't have this.
Yep. Yep. Love it. I listened to this over the weekend.
I mean, we would not have the same sound from Led Zeppelin.
I introduced Mallory to Led Zeppelin over the weekend.
You did? Was she happy that to have
she
been
loved
introduced?
It. She loved it.
So, classic beginning to rock and roll. And it's just a slowed down version. It's a sample
Yeah, it is. Exactly.
of Little Richard.
I knew it
so
sounded familiar. I was like, where am I hearing that from?
Shows you the genre.
Wow.
All right, we're going to play You Pick Trivia today. We're going to give you an opportunity to exercise your noggin. Going to win a whole lot of nothing today if you can be victorious. I'm hoping today is easier than the last time. So.
Well, the last time was not first grade questions or second grade.
Okay, so we'll make this one fourth grade. Are you smarter than a fourth grade category classes? So here you go. What you pick trivia. I'm going to give you a question. I'm going to give you 4 possibilities. You pick which of the 4 is most likely. What was the name of Captain Jack Sparrow's ship in Pirates of the Caribbean? What was the name of Captain Jack Sparrow's ship in Pirates of the Caribbean? Was it A, the Marauder, B, the Black Pearl, C, the Black Python, or D, the Black Adder? Marauder, Pearl, Python, Adder. Which is the correct answer? I am praying that the two of you get this correct.
I knew it once you said it.
Yeah, me too. I couldn't pull it out of my mouth.
Okay. Well, considering that the name of the ship is in the name of one of the movies, I'm hoping you will be victorious. All right. What was the name of Captain Jack Sparrow's ship in Pirates of the Caribbean? The Black Marauder, the Black Pearl, the Black Python, or the Black Adder? Miss Buckles, I know you've seen the movies, so
Yes.
I'm going to let you pick first. Which is it?
B, the Black Pearl.
The Black Pearl. Misty, what is your guess?
B.
B, the Black Pearl. Did you know that one, Misty, or are you just
No, I knew it
copying
when you
off
said
her?
it. No, I knew it when you
Okay.
said it. I wrote down that.
Congratulations.
We don't copy off each
You're
other.
both off to a well. Sometimes you do, and I don't blame you
Well,
for
we
doing
compare,
so.
We
I'm-
compare.
Oh, I see.
But we
Okay,
don't
I get
copy.
it.
Yeah.
Let me give it a more positive spin. You collaborate. Is that fair enough?
No, we don't.
We just compare. Like, what was your first
Okay.
thought and what
All
was
right.
mine?
We don't go back on.
You pick trivia number 2. How old do you have to be to enter the Hunger Games?
Oh, I have no idea.
Again,
I
another
never
movie
read this.
question. How old do you have to be to enter the Hunger Games? Is it 12? Is it 11? Is it 15? Or 65? 12, 11, 15, or 65? How old do you have to be to enter the Hunger Games? What is it? May the odds forever be in your favor? Is that the line? Is that
I've
the line
never
from
read
the
or
movie?
watched.
My Maddie loved
So-
those books. She watched the movies. I've never any
Nor
of
have
those.
I.
One day I decided, okay, I've got the weekend, I'm going to watch. And especially Jennifer Lawrence
Sure.
from Louisville. I thought, okay, I'll watch these. These were her breakout.
Yeah.
I watched the first 5 minutes and I can't watch
There
this.
was a guy from Litchfield in the movie.
Really?
But
Was
yeah.
it me?
No.
Okay.
It was your stunt double.
All right. Yeah.
The guy that jumps over the kids on bikes.
I've seen that guy. How old do you have to be to enter the Hunger Games? 12, 11, 15, or 65? Misty, I'm going to give you the first shot. 12, 11, 15, or 65?
I'm gonna say 15 because I remember her saying, "Take me for tribute."
Okay, for tribute. That's another line from that movie, right? Miss Buckles, is it 12, 11, 15, or 65?
I said 12.
You said 12. The correct answer is just before you turn a teenager. It is 12. 12 is the correct answer of
again,
how old
that
you have
was
to be
a
in the
guess.
Hunger Games. Now, I don't actually know what the Hunger Games are, so I don't know if 12 is reasonable or not.
Well, apparently they just kill everybody off.
Oh, I see.
I don't know.
All right.
I've
They
never
just
read or watched.
Chase you down.
All right.
Yeah.
And thirdly and lastly on You Pick Trivia today, which Disney princess sings Just Around the River Bend? Which Disney princess sings Just Around the River Bend? Is it Snow White, Pocahontas, Elsa, or Belle? Is it Snow White, Elsa? Is it Snow White, Pocahontas, Elsa, or Belle who sings Just Around the River Bend? It was not part of the Disney sing-along version 1 or 2.
It wasn't on American Idol the other night either.
Oh, that's right. It was not included. Which Disney princess sings Just Around the River Bend? Did you see Katy Perry last night as Mrs. Jumbo?
I loved it with her dog.
Yes, so her dog was Dumbo, and she pointed out that Dumbo's mom is Mrs. Jumbo. So that's who she was during the first segment, and then she came out last night and then she showed her baby bump, and she cried over everything. Since it was Mom's Day, she cried over every mom tribute.
Yeah, her
Hormones do that.
hormones. Bless
Yeah.
her heart.
That's right.
Yeah. I
She
was
said
not
she-
crying because
all-
my hormones were not raging with pregnancy. I was like, nah, you're cute.
Yeah,
Move on.
all over the place. Okay, which Disney princess sings Just Around the River Bend? Is it Snow White? Is it Pocahontas? Is it Elsa? Is it Belle? Miss Buckles, you get to go first this time.
Pocahontas.
Pocahontas. Okay, Misty, what is your guess?
Well, I wrote down Madison Thomas, a.k.a. Pocahontas, because this is her favorite movie, and this is the one she sings.
It's her favorite.
It's actually
It is
Kay's
correct.
favorite
Just
as well.
Around the River
Well,
Bend.
this and Mulan. She's tied with Mulan. I can't wait for the live-action Mulan to come out.
Yeah, of course they had to delay that,
I
so I'd be
know.
anxious to
That's okay.
getting back to it whenever we can, maybe the fall or whenever
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be. Absolutely, good job, ladies. You did an excellent job
Thanks.
on You Pick Trivia for today. So hopefully you were able to test your melon just a little bit. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got Point to Ponder, Pearl of Wisdom, Chart Toppers, and more coming up here on In the Know.
Studies show that boys are much more likely to grow into competent men when someone teaches them how to harness their strength and channel it properly. Boys learn a great deal of that from their fathers. But Mom, you play an important role too. Every measurement of positive childhood development increases when a boy has a good relationship with his mother. Boys are more likely to have self-confidence and do better in school. They're also more likely to use their strength and influence to protect someone who's weaker instead of take advantage of them. According to my friend Dr. Meg Meeker, that's because Mom is her son's first love. Mom is the first person a boy attaches to after he's born. Dad comes later. Especially in the early years, Mom is a boy's primary source of nurturing and love. As he grows, it's Mom and Dad who teach him that femininity is sacred and that women are to be respected and honored. Every household and every community needs good men in order to thrive. They need good husbands, good fathers, men with integrity who command respect and who respect others, men who stand up for the weak and defend truth. Mom, if you've ever needed proof that raising boys is heroic, there you go. You are absolutely crucial to shaping your son into a confident young man with good character who channels his strength in productive ways. You are your son's first love. To help your children thrive, go to FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Grayson County Schools invite you to help send off the Grayson County High School class of 2020 with a special parade on Saturday at 10 a.m. The parade will begin at Southgate Mall and travel the Thomason Byway to US 62, heading west on Mill Street, around the Court Square to West White Oak, and on to Grayson County High School, where graduates will privately receive their diploma, line the streets, and celebrate the sacrifice and accomplishments of the class of 2020. If you can't join in person, watch the live stream on K105 Digital Productions. Celebrate the class of 2020 with a parade on Saturday at 10.
At the University of Kentucky, there are no bounds to our campus, no limits to our ambitions. Here, you matter. In this unprecedented time, UK has moved Summer School 2020 online. Hundreds of course offerings, all 100% online at a discounted rate, from Kentucky's flagship university. We're prepared to adapt, grow, build, challenge, and succeed together. Find your program at summer.uky.edu.
Looking for fast, easy, and secure electronic banking? Community Trust has a wide variety of banking services to meet your needs, including internet banking, bill pay, and mobile banking. We now have even more great services like Apple Pay, make payments directly from your smartphone, and People Pay, a fast, easy, secure way to send and receive money from your smartphone. Visit us on the internet to learn more at ctbi.com. That's ctbi.com.
Community Trust Bank, building communities built on trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Johnny was a schoolboy when he heard his first Beatles song. Love me do, I think it was, and from there it didn't take him long. Got himself a guitar, used to play every night. Now he's in a rock and roll outfit and everything's alright. Don't you know?
MB's point to ponder for today. I have been pondering for several days on when, how, the best way to handle the mild Kentucky home tribute that we've been doing at 10 o'clock for the last weeks and weeks. We've said at the very beginning of the pandemic, there won't be a time where a whistle sounds and everybody says, all right, everybody return to normal. Go back to doing what you're doing. So the changes that have happened to us are going to continue to change, and we're going to continue to lose people, and but they won't all necessarily fit underneath this labeling that we're doing. So I've been trying to find a balance between, we still have people who are isolated, and then we've got people who are returning to work. And so we want to preserve the level of reverence and sincerity of playing My Old Kentucky Home. And if you've not seen the video tribute that goes along with that, it's pretty impactful. So we want you to be able to experience that as well. And we may upload that separately so you can use it at your discretion. But in trying to find the balance of preserving the reverence and the sentimentality for it, I'm going to kind of follow what Judge Henderson is doing with his briefings, and we're going to do it today, and then we're going to do it again on Friday. And so we will try, as we get people going back to work today through this new phase on being healthy at work, we just thought that sort of made sense to kind of bridge the gap between those who are still isolated and those who are returning to some semblance of routine. Fair enough?
Sounds good to me.
All right, so that's about the best way that I knew to handle it, because, as we've said, we're all in the same storm, but we're in different boats. And so we're going different places and doing things and experiencing it differently. So that's about the best way I know to do it. So we'll, for this week, kind of follow the briefing schedule that we'll do the tribute today. And then we'll do it again on Friday to wrap up the week in following the briefing schedule. So we will, again, this morning, with the ringing of the bells and paying tribute to those we've lost and those who are isolated during the pandemic, we present to you My Old Kentucky Home, presented by the University of Kentucky Marching Band. Don't forget there will be a Grayson County COVID-19 briefing this afternoon at 3:30 across all of our channels, so you'll be able to look forward to that today and get updated information from over the weekend. On television tonight, The Bachelor presents Listen to Your Heart on ABC. The Price is Right at Night with RuPaul on CBS. The Voice is on NBC. Amy Schumer Learns to Cook on the Food Network.
Okay.
I'm not really... I've been worrying about some things, but Amy Schumer's ability to cook is not one of them, believe it or not. Today's highlight in history, this date in 1502, Christopher Columbus left Spain on his fourth and final trip to the Western Hemisphere. In 1858, Minnesota became the 32nd state of the Union. Minnesota, land of many lakes? Isn't that Minnesota, the Native American word for that, I think? Let's go, see, in 1953, a tornado devastated Waco, Texas, claiming 114 lives. Bob Marley died this date in 1981. Birthdays today. Sports columnist Mike Lupica is 68. Martha Quinn is 61 today. Actor Tim Blake Nelson is 56 today. Tim Blake Nelson from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Oh, man.
So good.
So good. And Martha Quinn... MTV has uploaded a lot of original content from the 80s.
Oh, yeah?
That you can go back and watch promos, MTV News segments.
Max Hedren.
I don't know if he's up there or not, that show. And Remote Control is not up there yet, but soon enough. Surely there's got to be some
fun.
Yo MTV Raps with Ed Lover and all that. Gone but not forgotten, Irving Berlin, born this date in 1888. Phil Silvers in 1911. Denver Pyle was born this date in 1920. Denver Pyle. Uncle Jesse.
Oh, okay.
On the Dukes of Hazzard. Not on Full House. On the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, there have been two. You need to clarify.
Yeah, but I immediately went to not Full
Dukes of
House.
Hazzard.
Yeah.
Good, yeah. He was the shepherd, looking for the lost sheep.
Yes.
Shepherd of lost sheep. Shepherd of lost sheep. Chart toppers, 1957, Chuck Berry, School Days.
American history and practical man. You study him hard and hoping to pass. Working your fingers right down to the bone. And the guy behind you won't leave you alone.
Ring.
Weird to have a Chuck Berry #1 on the day that Little Richard, which we're commemorating his passing. 1966 was the year The Mamas and the Papas were number one.
Monday morning, it was all
What do we call this genre? Like, other than it's borderlines folky.
It was just
Like
popular music
this
in the
Partridge
60s. and the late
Family
60s.
kind of folky, hippie. Like, I just don't love this type of music.
It's kind of folky. It had that
Yeah.
California influence to
Mhm.
it. Yeah, I got it.
I mean, maybe a little bit hippie, but I don't think so. I think like hippie is a little bit.
Well, my parents liked the
more.
Mamas and the Papas.
Yeah.
I mean, that was from their era. I get in just a little bit of trouble with my profile picture, by the way.
You did?
Yes.
Yeah. And?
With the pandemic haircuts. Well, they wouldn't say I was in trouble. But my mother made it known. She's not a Facebooker, but she made it known
That she saw
that I had featured a picture of her with helmet hair. It looked like Darth Vader's helmet. It really did.
I actually really liked her hair. I thought it was very on point for the time.
It was
Mama.
on point with the
Yep.
times. There's no doubt about
That's
that.
the thing. When you are a person who stays on trend like your mother, you're going to go through the phases of looking back and going, "What was I thinking?" But you got to remember how on point you were for the time.
True.
So your
And
mother's
did
always
you
been a
also agree
trendsetter.
that Andy Bashir could take some hairstyling lessons from my dad?
Yes, he could.
Andy's getting the cowlick.
He
Like,
is.
Andy's getting the
I appreciate the
cowlick on
fact though that he's not secretly, brought in a hairdresser.
That's true. He has not.
Yep.
But I'm just, there must have been a pandemic going on that year because all three of us looked like we had been in isolation for 2 months.
Well, maybe you were just too hard to deal with that she didn't have time to get a haircut.
I was a toddler. I was an excellent toddler, never caused a moment trouble. 1984, Phil Collins. Janet Jackson, That's the Way Love Goes in 93. Shakira, Underneath Your Clothes in 2002. And Adele, Rolling in the Deep back in 2011. You know how we delineate Elvis music between Fat Elvis and Skinny Elvis?
Yeah, well, it's true.
Will we do the same with Adele music at some point?
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll wonder. Oh yeah, that was before.
Yeah, chubby Adele
I don't know. Maybe we'll just
Skinny
call her
Adele?
like girthy Adele.
I think I'd rather be known as chubby. As a woman, I'd
There-
rather be
there's
chubby.
there's the
I
photo.
think it's
Sa-
great.
Sam found it.
I think
yeah.
it's great.
I love it.
Your dad does resemble Andy Bashir a little bit.
Well, yeah, you got that side comb.
Yeah, I mean, just his hoe, like
and-
his hoe features.
That's right. But
You sure you're not a Bashir instead of a Buckles?
Oh,
no, I'm certain. I'm 100% certain.
You changed your name.
Yeah,
Your
but
family.
but I did love the way that she brushed up against it yesterday. She said, "So I heard you'd been sharing some photos." I said, "Really? Which ones?"
She's so
She said, "Well,
easygoing.
I saw the ones that were during In the Know on Friday," and then she said, "And then there might have been another one." I was like, "Oh yeah, okay. I've been ratted out."
This is how she's backing you out of the will.
That's okay.
I want you to know.
That's all right. Yeah, yeah. You thought I didn't know about that, huh?
You lost one more thing in the will.
That's right.
We just erased Mark Buckles off of the tricycle.
MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Be a light, not a judge. Be a model, not a critic. Be a light, not a judge. Be a model, not a critic. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Misty Thomas, for B, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powered by Heritage Media of Kentucky, WKHG Litchfield, Kentucky, USA, 104.9 FM, the Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105. Your news starts now.